Hey, everybody. There's a story in Atlanta that I want you all to be aware of. There's a medical center in Atlanta that is stating that they are facing a lawsuit for understaffed and unsecured conditions. And one of the patients that was in that facility was able to escape the facility. And unfortunately, sad to say, the young man was then later, his life was taken by police officers during an altercation that took place. I'm going to go ahead and bring the news video up, and then I'll share the story as well on this incident that took place. Let me go ahead and run this here, and then we'll talk about the article.
Metro Atlanta Hospital accused in a lawsuit of putting vulnerable patients at risk. This as dozens of patients are reported missing each year.
Well, Southern Regional Medical Center in Riverdale faces claims of being understaffed and unsecured. The family of a patient alleges in the lawsuit the facility's staffing and security issues led to his death.
Here's Atlanta News First investigator Sierra Cummings, and a warning: this story here includes gunshots.
What you're about to see are the final minutes of Daryl Lynn Fussel's life. Riverdale police respond to a call for suspicious person. Daryl kneeling on the ground.
You got that tool, but he started hitting himself on his head.
The 23-year-old never speaks.
Hey, boss man, Riverdale PD, what's going on?
Daryl gets up, grabs scissors from the nearby toolbox.
Hey, stay away from that.
Despite commands,
Stay away from that! Hey! 2744.
Riverdale police found the shooting justified with no policy violations. The Clayton County DA agreed.
Stay away from that!
There was no criminal wrongdoing.
If Daryl Lynn had never eloped from the hospital, he never would have encountered that police officer.
Exactly.
Just hours earlier, Daryl was on an involuntary hold at Southern Regional Medical Center. Diagnosed with schizophrenia, he was a 1013 patient, a status which allows detainment of an individual in crisis who is posing a danger to themselves or others. Yet, police records describe Daryl managed to run past the nurse watching him and escape the hospital.
When you do everything right, and the system still fails you.
And nobody wants to be accountable.
Hey, boss man, Riverdale PD, what's going on?
Daryl's April 2023 death was not the first time a vulnerable patient escaped Southern Regional Medical.
Mental health crisis shouldn't be a death sentence.
In the last 3 years, 44 patients ran away. At least 28 were psychiatric patients on involuntary holds. Federal records provide some insight illustrating a history of federal policy violations. Like an investigation last year said, a patient found unresponsive in the psych area ultimately died. There was only one working registered nurse at the time. As a result, inspectors deemed Southern Regional in immediate jeopardy, a determination given when a facility's non-compliance has or could cause serious harm or death. It makes a hospital potentially ineligible to receive federal funds. Before this federal investigation, a state inspection days earlier substantiated some concerns. A complaint to the Georgia Department of Community Health alleged a patient died in the behavioral unit. No clinical staff members present for 7 hours prior to his death due to short staffing. There was fraudulent false documentation that every 15 minutes observations were being conducted. Fussell family attorney Jane Lamberti reacting to our findings.
To me, what it suggests is that there is an awareness about the problem and it's not being taken care of.
Southern Regional would not interview with Atlanta News First investigates about its security measures or patients reported missing, saying since this is an active legal matter, we have no information to provide at this time.
How you feeling?
The Fussell family now sued for nursing malpractice, negligence, wrongful death.
There are so many levels of the ball dropping in our son's situation that it's egregious.
Wow.
So Southern Regional Medical Center is now in good standing. They're in compliance after submitting a corrective action plan to the federal government. Now, as for this lawsuit, the hospital's parent company filed a response in court denying any wrongdoing. Riverwoods Behavioral Health is also named as a defendant in this suit. That is the facility which transferred Daryl to Southern Regional in the first place. They sent us a statement saying their deepest sympathies are with the family, but they value patient privacy and won't be commenting further. There is much more to this investigation on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Live in
Wow, guys, this is really sad. I did not even know this type of thing existed, where patients in this magnitude of numbers were actually leaving these hospitals or coming up missing. There's a lot of this that I'm finding out as I read this story. It says that there were about 44 patients, according to this news article, that said did run away from this facility. And they also says that a lot of these patients that go in involuntarily. And of course, if they're going in involuntarily, then more than likely they're not wanting to stay at these facilities. So what do they do? It did also state that this facility was understaffed and under secured. So they did say that in the article that they have rectified this, but I want to hear from you. What do you think about this particular story? It also says here that Fussell, the gentleman Daryl, was not the first patient to escape SRMC. Clayton County records of missing person from the hospital over the last 3 years shows at least 44 patients reported missing. According to the Atlanta News First analyst, at least 28 of them were psychiatric patients on involuntary holds. Our prayers and our condolences go out to Mr. and Mrs. Fussell. This event, they did state, was an event that happened in 2023. We're going to continue to follow stories like this, because situations like this, it's hard to try and say who are to blame, but I do understand the Fussell's complaint that when you do all that you can according to what the system states that you should do, and your child ends up life being taken, it does put you in a state of mind to think who dropped the ball. And in this case, the facilities are the ones that the Fussells are stating that should be responsible for their child's life no longer being here. It is shocking to me that the hospital stated that they are not responsible, or they feel as though they're not responsible in this. And now some people may argue to differ, because you state that he was on an involuntary, that maybe he should have been able to leave. But what do you think about this whole story, about these patients coming up missing from these facilities, and also the staff members that are trying to do what they can with the limited staff that they have? What can we do to make these things to be improved, make things better, so that individuals and situations like this won't happen again? Share your thoughts in the comments section and let me know. I appreciate each of you for watching. We continue to pray for Mr. and Mrs. Fussell as they go through this. I am glad, so very happy that they are sharing their story with us. And it's very sad that they had to share their story because their son is no longer here. We need to start doing something better, you guys. Let's go ahead and share their story, and let's come up together with some mindsets to see what we can do to make the system and the hospital facilities better, and to get the care that is needed for the individuals that are having to enter these facilities. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure that y'all subscribe, like, and share. Love one another, love yourselves, and make sure you always love the Lord God Almighty. Thank you again.